beginning. So hello everyone who is watching our YouTube live stream or the recording of this week's growth call. I'm Christoph Atteneder and I'm your host today. Thanks, audio seems to be working again. As always, I posted already the Google Hangout invitation link in the chat on the left, so you can join us here in the Hangout. Or if you want to watch the live stream on YouTube, feel free to post your comments and questions in the live chat as well, and we try to cover them on the way or in the end of the growth call. I'm actually very excited to show you a first sneak peek of our upcoming release 0.70 today, which is in testing phase at the moment, but we'll also cover our next liquidity week in the Bitcoin Canadian dollar market and show you another sneak peek. So there are lots of sneak peeks today of the new monthly report for April that will be released, I guess, tomorrow. Before I start with the agenda, some information for everyone who is joining us for the first time and maybe don't know what Bisq is. So Bisq is the only real decentralized fiat cryptocurrency exchange out there. So you can exchange fiat currencies like Canadian dollars currencies. Our growth calls, like the one today, are about exchanging learnings on how to grow the Bisq network itself. We decided last year to focus for the next couple of months on growing especially liquidity. We mean with that to increase the number of buy and sell offers available. As today's call is also about the upcoming liquidity week for Canada, I want to explain super quickly what we actually mean with liquidity week. So it's 1 week, of course, where everyone who is participating tries to have one buy and one sell offer available all the time to kickstart the market. Everyone who participates not only supports decentralized exchanges like Bisq, but will also receive 20 BSQ tokens on top. If you wonder what BSQ tokens are, utilities within the Bisq DAO, which will be released within the next couple of months. So you can vote with the BSQ token, you can transfer it, buy, sell it, and you can pay the trading fees with it. If you want to know more about the Bisq DAO, which is really interesting, there is the white paper, and we covered it a lot on the first tech session, and there was another tech session recently which went into more technical details on the DAO, which is also a great session to watch. I will post, as always, the links in the description below after the call. So without further ado, I will switch to the slides and let's continue with the agenda from now on. So I will start screen sharing. Just take a second. So go full screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah. As I mentioned already, as most of you know, we are running our next liquidity week in the Bitcoin Canadian market. So thanks to everyone who already decided to join the liquidity week. We got great feedback on Twitter, on GitHub, but we're still looking for participants. And it's actually really easy. You just need to have one payment method ready where you can trade Canadian dollars on Bisq, and you need a little bit of Bitcoin available for trading purpose. You can decide the amount, how much you want to trade, the price, the payment method. You just should try to have one buy and one sell offer available all the time. So if one offer gets taken down, just put up another one. And if you do that, you're not only supporting decentralized exchanges, but you will also be up for compensation next month. So it will be from the 21st to the 27th of May. And if you have any other questions, and feel free to contact us on Slack, on Twitter, or on GitHub. We are really very responsive on different time zones. And we'd love to see the Bitcoin Canadian dollar liquidity week to be as successful as our past liquidity weeks in other markets. But we need you, the community, to support us to kickstart this market. Yes, so let's switch to the first sneak peek, the monthly report for April. Yeah, what can I say? April was really a killer month for the Bisq network in terms of volume. So if you look to the right, you have a couple of blocks from the monthly report. So the top block is the global volume in US dollars. The next block are the average number of daily trades per month. And then we have a little block on release. So if you just look in terms of volume, it was our second strongest month since the beginning. And if you look at the average total trades by day, then it was even our best month ever. So we had in average 33 trades per day. And yeah, this is a great indicator that the Bisq network is growing organically. We have lots of activity, although maybe the Bitcoin price is going up and down, which has a big effect on the volume, of course. But as long as we see that the trades are going up and up and up, this is good for everyone, because that means that there is a lot of offers out there always to be taken as well. So let me check. What I wanted to mention regarding the volume, of course, a big contributor in April to the volume was the Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin market that started to explode in the beginning of the month and then picked up on the end of the month again. But also besides the Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin market, all other markets in euro, dollars, Great Britain pounds, and Monero, of course, showed great trading activity. As I mentioned in the beginning, the full report will be sent out tomorrow. And I just want to cover the last block I've added from the report in this slide about the releases. So it's actually quite impressive that we already released more than 300,000 released that we have more than 300,000 downloads already of the client. And on the right, you see our last releases. That's the little drawback, or let's say the interesting part, that our last release was end of February. So normally we try to push at least one release per month, or maybe twice a month. But because of bigger refactorings, the current release was a little bit delayed. And also there was lots of onboarding of new developers that took place over the last couple 2 months, basically. So that also one reason why this release is delayed as well. And also this time Manfred will do the release, and so we had to do a lot of setup and handover to have this as decentralized as possible. So then let's go directly to the demo and have a look how far the current release is already. So I will now stop the screen sharing again, and I will now share the Bisq application that's connecting to the production and the mainnet of the Bisq network. Just one question, can you see the screen sharing again?
Yes, I can see the Bisq app. Perfect.
So you see on the bottom, you already have the new version number, 0.70. And of course, since the last release, there were so many small and bigger changes introduced, so I can't present all of them today, but at least I'd like to go over the bigger ones. And before I go into it, I want to say a big thanks to everyone who contributed to this release by submitting lots and lots of pull requests over the last 2 months. It was actually already getting more and more effort to merge all the pull requests, especially of all the tokens that are getting introduced over the time. But it's also a good indicator that the interest in Bisq is picking up more and more. So we have here a first look at the offer book. besides some textual changes and the order of the columns, I have no audio again. Is it right? Can you hear me, or is
I
the audio?
I can hear you, Christoph.
Okay, just got. So I will, just to be sure if my audio maybe was down. So we have here the offer book, and besides some textual changes and the order of the column, we introduced a new alignment and formatting of the numbers within the table. So where you see the amount in euros, amount in Bitcoin, and the price in euro. So the numbers are now centered and right aligned, and we also grayed out the zeros in the end, so it's less distracting if you have to scan lots of numbers. And finally, I'm not sure if the screen capture can show this. Finally, you can just increase the window size, and you will see more of the table. Sorry, I just clicked. So it's a lot of, you will see a lot of smaller and bigger changes in this release, and that's a small change, but I really like it a lot. So let's have a look in the spread as well. So we not only have this new number formatting here. So if you look, for example, to the total Bitcoins, you can now easily just reverse the order, and it's really easy to just scan through the numbers. Before, it was just centered in the middle, and it was really hard to get out the information that you might want. The same is in the trade section. So you can, we have this alignment now in most, wherever it makes sense. So we didn't do it everywhere, but everywhere where we think that people are scanning through lots of numbers and it helps them to get a good overview, there we introduce this kind of alignment. So let's go into the Buy Bitcoin section. Here, we have introduced more help and information icons everywhere on different places to make it easier for first-time users. So, for example, here we have added new icons also to differentiate a fixed price from market-based price offer. So a fixed price offer is if you just say you want to sell Bitcoins for 8,000 euros, and market price offers if you want to sell them with, let's say, 1% distance from the market price, and it will also always update with the current market price. So also, if you do a rollover, it will tell you what this is about. So it will tell you if minus 1. See the current price on the top. It will tell you that if you take this offer, you will pay 1.5% less than the current market price. And the same, of course, if you pay more. So that should help. And here, for example, we just introduced a couple of help icons to make it easier. And so let me check if I have missed anything essential here. Yeah, of course, we also changed the wording. So we don't have too many changes of perspective, of user perspective. Before, we had lots of cases where you had to understand if it is seen from the maker side, so the one who created the offer, or if it's seen is actually something you can buy, and that was a little confusing in certain screens. We also align in this screen the numbers centered right, so it's again just easier if you sort them. Let's do it. If you sort them, you can just quickly scan through and select the amount that suits you best. So let me check. Yeah, there's another small improvement that was created by the community, which is really nice. Before, in the filter by currency, you just had the list of currencies, fiat and cryptocurrencies that are available. And now you can also see how many offers are, in that case, how many buy offers are available for this currency, which is a nice addition. So then I would say, let's take first offer I can take. I take this one. So that didn't change. So it's a little information on the deposit that I have to make. So we also tried, here you see, we also tried to remove unnecessary steps wherever possible. So in that case, in the purchase process. So if you have an offer with a fixed amount, you don't have to reconfirm the amount anymore. Before you had to, let's say someone wants to sell 0.07 Bitcoin like that, and then you want to take the offer, then you have to confirm that you want to take 0.07, no matter if it's a range or not. So it's a lot of small steps. We tried to make it as seamless as possible in that screen. Also, if you have a look in the funds needed, as example, in the funds needed, fund your trade section, the funds needed input field, we now try to, before we have hidden this information in the brackets behind this little information icon. It was on the left before. And now we try to make, if there's space, we want to show the user as much information as possible, so we don't hide essential information by default. So we don't, I will not take the offer here because I don't have any Bitcoins available. Bitcoins available for a deposit in the production version, but I will just quickly show you one more thing in the reg test. So I will show one more thing in the production version, and then I will switch to the reg test to my local Bitcoin instance to show you parts of the trading that changed. So I will quickly select a range offer. So here I can select what amount I want to take, and here again a small improvement, but really nice. We now do autofocus on every screen where we think it makes most sense. So you don't have to find a starting point where best to start. If you're not familiar with the interface, you can start immediately typing and tapping through to make it a little bit faster first experience. So I will now stop the screen share and switch to my other instance, to my local instance. So let's see, I will switch to Alice now. So just a quick check. You can see the screen again?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So let's assume Alice wants to buy some Bitcoin and she doesn't want to take an offer that is available. I have just to get the right. So yeah, so she wants to buy Bitcoin. So I'm creating a new offer. So now it's already in focus. So I will select 0.10 Bitcoin. Here, in that screen, the design changed a little bit. So we tried to disable certain fields and gray them out a little bit to make it more clear what you can do. And we changed also to make it clearer. So you see again the icons of the market price or the fixed price on the bottom. So you can switch between these two kind of offer types. And what we also changed, because it was always a little bit confusing, if you enter some percentage in the sell and the buy offer, what means 1% or 2%? Of course, you could see the pre-calculated Bitcoin price, compare it to the current price, and you would recognize, yes, that's better. So we introduced some information icons here as well. So it tells you will, in that case, you will always pay 2% less than the current market price, as the price of your offer will be continuously updated. So it should help the user to make the right decision. So if the user would put a which you can also do, maybe the price is going up super quickly, and the user wants to get in as fast as possible, then he might want to buy Bitcoin above the current market price. Then you can use a negative percentage, and the information icon will warn you, but just as a kind of information that you will always pay 2% more than the current market price. But let's go back. Let's select 2%. I will quickly check if I have missed anything essential in that screen. Yeah, no. So yes, we will now have Bitcoin available to fund the offer. I will confirm here nothing changed so far. There's still in progress the concept. So here we have now already a couple of offers. Alice has a couple of offers out there. So that's the offer that we just created on RegTest. So you might recognize, if you know the screen already, you might recognize that the options on the right changed a little bit. So you can still enable and disable any offer by just checking this check mark. What will happen if you disable an offer? It will be taken out of the Bisq network, so no one will see the offer and, of course, can't take the offer. And this would be the case, for example, the price changes a lot and you just want to take out all your offers and wait until it's more stable. If you have a market-based price, then you can put it in again. But that didn't change compared to the previous version. Just the user interface changed a little bit. You can also still delete any offer. So let's delete this offer. It will warn me that I will lose my maker fee, unfortunately. But yeah, I want to remove it anyway. So the offer is gone. One of the most exciting new features from my perspective in this release is that you now can not only, if you're not happy with the options you selected in your offer, at the moment you can only delete it, so you will lose the maker fee, and you can create a new offer with the changed price or percentage that you want your offer to be. And this changes with this release, so you can also now edit an existing offer without paying an extra trading fee. So let's do this. So that's our offer that we just created. So if you go to edit, it looks a little bit familiar. It looks like the create offer screen. But here, on the one hand side, you can, of course, change the market or the percentage if it was a market price offer. But you can also switch to a fixed price offer if, for example, the Bitcoin price is very volatile and you only want to sell at a certain price point, then you can switch from your previous market-based price to a fixed price, and you will be sure that you will get the exact amount of money if your trade is taken. So let's do this. I will say I will only accept, yeah, let's make it with $9,400. I can confirm the offer, and it is here. In the background, what will happen as soon as you, let me show you once again. If you added an offer, let's go to the my open offers again. It will be disabled by default, so that it can't happen that someone takes your offer while you are editing it, and that might cause some conflicts or errors. So that's one of the big new features that will be in the 0.70 release. So yeah, Another thing that it's that you might recognize already compared to the current version, if you haven't contributed to the Bisq network, then you might wonder what this DAO icon on the top is all about. So with this release, this menu item is visible out of the box. You can already, with the shortcut, Command D or Control D in the client. And in the new client, it will also be available already. So if you are planning to, for example, you want to join us in the Bitcoin Canadian dollar liquidity week, and then you are up for compensation. The compensation request has to be filed until end of the current month. So, for example, there will be some days left in end of May that you can file your compensation request on GitHub, and for that you also need your Bisq address. So if you go to the receive part, you have here in the production version also your Bisq wallet address, and you have to the 20 BSQs are credited to your address and will be available also in production as soon as it's deployed to the mainnet. So that's about that. Then, of course, we have new payment methods in this release as well. We don't know by heart, we don't know for sure if there will be a couple of new payment methods added over the next couple of days, depending when we will release. But there are two changes that are already within the current client. So one payment method is WeChat Pay for trading with Chinese yuan. So if you want to try this out, it should be quite easy, but be aware, I think in mainland China, if you are in mainland China, you have to check if you're allowed to trade Bitcoins. But if you're based abroad and you just have a Chinese bank account for your WeChat Pay client, then you can use it for trading. But always it's you have to check yourself if it's allowed in your country to trade Bitcoins or other cryptocurrencies or not. And there's another, thanks to one, I'm not 100% sure the name anymore, who pointed this out and provided us with very detailed information on Argentinian bank accounts. So we were not aware that with the current client, you're not able to make any transfers in Argentina. So we got this information from you, from the community, and it was so good that we were able to implement it quite quickly. So it's more about getting the information on new payment methods, evaluating it if it fulfills all the requirements. We also have now with Alfredo a new payment method maintainer who is taking care of all the payment methods that are added. So you can talk with him in the payment method channel on Slack, or file a GitHub issue yourself, and Alfredo will contact you quite soon anyways. So let me quickly check if I have covered everything what I wanted to cover on this client. Of course, there are many more changes, but I just wanted to give you a first look. Yeah, so that's it for now, for the first sneak peek. And we are looking forward to your feedback as soon as it's live, or if you have feedback already and we are able to integrate it before the release, then feel free to join us. If you are a developer, you are also more than welcome to join the testing phase that is going on as well at the moment. If you want to do that, then please go to the Bisq Desktop Slack channel, where you'll find already a couple of informations. And I also made recently 2 recordings where I went through nearly all the test scenarios for the release. So on rag test, on the local machine, and also some backwards compatibility tests. And you can also have a look there. So if you want to join us, We have a detailed test scenarios document where you can just easily walk through. And of course, everyone who supports testing is also providing value to the Bisq network and is up for compensation. And I will provide the links in the description below, as always. So let me quickly stop the screen sharing. So yeah, so that's from my side at the moment. Manfred, did I miss any important new feature on the new client? I'm not 100% sure.
Sorry, I was joining late. I had another call, so I missed most of it. So I cannot really say too much about it.
Yeah, at least.
But thanks a lot for presenting everything, and thanks a lot for all the testing and release effort. And
we can't say for sure when it will be released. So we're still working on the new release process itself. We're quite far, but realistically, if we don't find I found a couple of smaller bugs I'm fixing on the way, and everyone who is testing also. But yeah, if everything goes fine, we should be able to release the client next week, hopefully. I think that's
Yeah, I think it's really a great release with a lot of features what the user really see on the UI and the editing of the offers and the new payment methods and so. So after a longer break, I think it's really worth the update.
And I'm super excited that Pedro and Diogo joined us on the UI and UX side, and they made already some really impressive new screen designs, also for the client, not only for the Bisq brand itself. And I guess we will see way more improvements on the Bisq client, also on the design side soon. And yeah, personally, I think that pushes the client on a new level. So that's really exciting. So if you want to have a look into the design repository on GitHub. There you'll have the little design study by Pedro and all other screen designs that were created since then. So it's really exciting. Of course, if this is more welcome, we are building this software not for us. We're building it for everyone, for all of us. So yeah, we need your feedback how we should build it in the best possible way. Are there any questions from the live audience, either on the new version or maybe not directly related, but should be at least Bisq related? I will just give a couple of seconds. Let me check if, okay, yeah, sorry again about the audio outtake in the beginning. I was too enthusiastic to start without activating the microphone. Should the WeChat, okay, Matt Eric is asking, should the WeChat identity be called account number and not WeChat ID? For that, I'm not sure how it, I think this was addressed in the issue. We had one contact in China who was also doing the implementation actually. And she was saying, yeah, that's okay, but if someone knows or uses the WeChat Pay functionality in the WeChat Pay messenger, maybe we can continue the discussion in the issue. I will post the closed issue also below in the description. So if it makes sense and if it's not so clear that account number is the kind of WeChat ID, or maybe if WeChat ID is the right wording for this parameter, then we just change it. So we just took it from Sarah or Manfred. I don't remember. Was there a specific reason to call it account number?
I have not followed closely. I just I wanted to add, or I want to ask, how is the situation with the translation for Chinese? Are you aware?
You mean for the new payment method or in general?
In general, and especially for the new payment methods. And the question is also if we should add a kind of like a extra pop-up to make a disclaimer that we don't speak Chinese as arbitrators. So when there are problems, they have to figure out to communicate in English because we cannot hire a translator for such cases.
Yeah, we have to see. So Sarah was not very active over the last couple of, I think, 2 weeks. But yeah, we can try. So I think she didn't make any changes to the existing Chinese traditional simplified Chinese translation. She added, as far as I remember, translations for WeChat Pay, but I have to recheck that. So if anyone from China is watching this, please contact us first, also to recheck if account number or WeChat ID is the right wording. And we're also looking for nearly all languages besides German and English, people to review our translations. We are in the middle of updating and setting up everything in, I think it's called Transifex, a professional translation tool where you can review and improve translations. And of course, everyone who is reviewing and improving the translation is also up for compensation. We get another question. I had a problem. There was another point from Leonardo that he had problems on local Bitcoins because the user identity was fake. You mean for WeChat ID or another payment method? But just in general, so if we can't cover it here, for example, for the decision on how the WeChat account number should be called, let's continue the discussion on the GitHub issue afterwards, and we'll definitely be able to make any changes for the new release if there are any problems with these payment options, of course. But thanks for putting that into the discussion, Leonardo. Yeah, so if there are no other questions from the live audience, is there anything else, maybe also Felix, or you want to discuss? Or let's...
Nope,
yeah.
just very happy we're adding WeChat finally, and also happy for the Argentina thing. Great news. It's looking great, and also great to see the DAO finally appearing in a live release.
Yeah, sorry, the video just broke down on my side a little bit, but yeah, it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward getting this out into the hands of the community. And yeah, I think from now on, it will be quicker releases again. So we are looking to release at least once a month. And yeah, it will be really, really nice. Yeah, and lots of Chinese are trading Bitcoin. Yeah, Eric. That's a huge, huge audience. Absolutely. Yeah, so then thanks everyone for joining us today. Everyone in Canada, please join us on the Liquidity Week, and see you again next week. And maybe we'll even have a tech session next week as well. So and keep the comments coming. We have now with Derek great support on the YouTube channel as well. He will try to answer all of your comments as quickly as possible. And yeah, exciting times are coming up for the Bisq network. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.